And what in heaven's name brought you to Casablanca?
My health. I came to Casablanca for the waters.
The waters? What waters? We're in the desert.
I was misinformed.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got her, Senator Julia Coleman, on the program with us. Senator, thanks for being here today, especially today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy first day of session.
Well, see, I know this is like the least professional question I've asked to like a half a dozen people so far. And quite honestly, I don't think they've been telling me the truth, but I think you will. So I'm going to do it one more time. Terribly unprofessional question. How long have you been in the legislature?
This will be my 6th legislative session.
Okay. So 6 years you've gone to the first day. How much is the feeling of this the same as, I don't know, the first day when you got to high school and you're going to the big school, the first day of college, you had to make sure you had your protractors. People don't even know what those are. Protractors, you had your pens. Do you get that same feeling going to the first day of session?
I do. I was here yesterday making sure I had waters and snacks and, backup hairspray and stuff. You pick out your favorite outfit for the first day. I will say, though, my very first year, I was, trying my best not to, heave.
Freak out.
And now it's more fun.
See, thank you. I have always liked you. I was going to say, you look very nice today. For folks as radio, that doesn't do anything for you. She's dressed really nice. But you're probably the first one of all that I've asked that gave me the honest answer. Like, yeah, you want to put your nicest outfit on. It's day one. Thank you for being honest with me. You look very nice.
Anytime.
And I know, and everybody's like, why would you take the time? Because, that's what people want to know. Do you get that, feeling in your gut? You're going back to the office. Now I ask the hard question that everybody will ask. So what can get done, Senator? What can get done this session with everybody running for their job again? All the problems that we have, and you're split 67, 34, 33. What's going to get done?
I was surprised last year that we were able to come to an agreement and get a budget passed during special session. And so that, for me, gives me hope that something can get done. But as we know, a big part of that negotiating table is no longer with us, Speaker Hortman. And so it's a new team and it's a new dynamic. And so I need a little more time to get a feel for the lay of the land this year to kind of understand how that new dynamic's going to shake out. But we did it before with the same makeup of the legislature. So I'm hopeful we can do it again.
Well, and again, Hortman was really a different spectacle when it comes to what you guys do for a living. She really, and I'm only out there on the show once or twice. I really enjoyed her. But she is gone. And you guys are going to start today with I don't want to say a memorial service, but a tribute. Would that be a better word for you? You're going to start with that. And that's fantastic. Who is taking over her position in the House? Is that to be decided today?
So Representative Zach Stevenson was elected a few months back by his peers to represent that caucus. I know he was drafted by Speaker Hortman to run in the first place, and spent a lot of time, kind of being mentored by her. But I don't know him personally, so I don't have a good insight into how he'll operate.
All right. Let's go down some of the stuff that could possibly get done. If not, bonding. I've been saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this because it's Al. I don't know that anybody cares about $1 billion anymore. If it weren't for all that happened since the Hoffman and the Horseman shootings and the fraud and the rest, we would be talking about what would get done in bonding, right? What's the priorities? Will it be over $1 billion? Would it be under $1 billion? It's just what we talk about every other year, all the time. And I say no one cares anymore. The Star Tribune wanted to argue with Donald Trump whether there was $1 billion in fraud in Minnesota. Couldn't prove it by the Star Trib, can't do that. Now we're talking $9 billion possibly. Then the Optum Group comes out and says, you know what, if we just followed our own rules in Medicare, you'd save $1.7 billion, in Minnesota. I think the $1 billion word doesn't mean anything anymore. Just spend what you got to spend, because I don't think does that make sense? I'm sorry to say that. I was a fighter for keeping under $1 billion. I don't know. No one cares.
I think that it does sometimes feel like monopoly money to some people around here. And you have to really remember who sent those dollars to us in the first place. And the issue with bonding is because of the financial crisis Democrats put us in the state, there's a chance we wouldn't even be able to service the debt on that bonding financially. And I know Republicans, if there is going to be a bonding bill, zero nonprofit funding, strictly like wastewater, roads, bridges. But that's a big ask when there was such huge bonding bills passed, and given the financial crisis we're in right now, some really tough decisions are going to happen here.
Well, see, but if you look to the other side, and I appreciate your terminology, the financial crisis that we're looking at, the other side saying, wait a minute, there's like $400 million we can spend this year. Yeah, you're looking at 2 years out, right? 2 years out, we hit a brick wall of debt, but they're going to tell you right now, we've got money in the bank. We can spend it. We haven't even spent it yet. How are you going to fight them on that and say, because they always look the short term. And how, by the way, how in the world do you add $10 billion in taxes and we're going to be running into the fiscal wall? What happened?
You absolutely have to look at the massive spending. I mean, they increased the size of the budget in 1 year under the trifecta by something like 40%. It's unsustainable. That 400 million, I guarantee you, that's already gone, given the amount of claims we're seeing with the new paid family medical leave program. And a lot of projects that we already paid for, like the state office building, are coming in over budget. And so that money is gone. You absolutely have to look at the deficit that we are projected and budget towards that. They have us looking at cutting money for special education, nursing homes, things like that. And then you see more fraud come out and you just want to rip your hair out. Now, I won't, because I think this is one of my best features, but I want to all the time.
Let me throw this at you. You saw the Optum report, and this,
Yes.
what's his name, John Conley, the head of the Minnesota Medicaid director, he came out and said, hey, Optum said you could save $1.7 billion if you just followed your rules. And this guy comes out and says, hey, I just want you to go, that's not fraud. This is us just not following our rules. Like, somehow that's better. Here's my point. $1.7 billion if we followed the rules. You take $8-9 billion that, of course, just went out the door to the bad guys. What if you cut the budget by $10 billion and just said, and everyone, oh, you're going to hurt this, you're going to hurt that. Why are we cutting anything? We're cutting fraudsters out and we're following the rules, those that we're taking advantage. You got $10 billion lying there that if we just tighten the belt buckle up, we're good. And no one gets hurt. All the other programs say the same. It's fraud we cut out. Is that bad math?
I think there's more fraud to even discover. So it's like trying to solve for X when you don't even know the gravity of X yet. But I do think that there's going to have to be even more cuts. I know sometimes in a bonding year we've done supplemental budgets. I don't know if I've ever seen supplemental cuts, but we got to do something to be fiscally responsible over here.
Well, we're 6 weeks into paid family medical leave. Is there any chance real numbers are coming in that we could look at this and say, is there any chance of tightening the belt on that program alone? Because I think, as far as everything I read, this thing goes belly up in a heartbeat. The taxes are going to go up on this thing. Is there a chance of, before it gets out of control, we can bring that back, rein it in?
Republicans put a cap on the max they can tax, which that's just going to make a very interesting dynamic. I don't think that they estimated this much. I did have a bill that tried to close some of the loopholes so that there's a limit on how many people can take off for one single person needing to be cared for, et cetera. And I hope there's an appetite for that this year, because I think this is just going to go down as such a disaster.
Well, it'll go down to disaster, but once people have it, you can't get it back. I've been liking it, and you're not going to like me for saying this. If we wrote bills so loosely, let's say the autism bill, you didn't even have to have autism or a doctor tell you had autism. You didn't have to be an educator to help the autistic person or a medical professional. You can just set up an autism course. If we set up that loosely, and some people fraudulently did it, committed names that weren't there, got it. Those are bad humans. This bill seems to be set up so well, everything goes. You don't have to say how the person who's sick is related to you, really, right? It could be just my next door neighbor who I felt as my grandmother, and she's always been there for me. I want to be there. There's no, how much care do I have to give? My mother's really sick in Florida, but I want to make sure I call her every day to make sure she takes her medicine. Okay. Like you said, how many people can care for my mother in that same scenario? All 6 of us. We're all going to take one day to make sure mom took her pills by calling her. 6 people get checks. There seems to be no stopgap to it, and the brilliance of it, in my opinion, and why it was written like that, no one can go to jail for it. Everything goes. You get approved, take your money, right? How can you fraud the system that says there's no fraud?
Well, and Al, we spent several hours on the floor trying to offer amendments to close some of these loopholes, and we were painted as we aren't compassionate. And that just drove me up a wall, because you can be compassionate and still want to be logical and prudent.
Well, and loopholes. You call them loopholes. They write these for a reason. As I understand it, you can have 2 jobs, quit one, and get paid family medical leave, but keep the other one. You don't want to lose all your income. Because let's say one job you get Mondays off, or you have to work Mondays. Well, I take that job off, I can get Mondays off. That helps my mom get to her. What you can make up anything you want. This no holds barred thing cannot stay. But I'm more concerned that it'll automatically. They don't have to vote again to increase the taxes, right?
Correct.
So that'll just whoever's running that thing's just going to increase it to that.
Oh, it's capped at 1% for employers or employees, but. So we would have to go back in, just to clarify, in the Senate.
Well, yeah, but it said like 0.88, right? It can go up like 25% without anybody saying anything. So then it goes up there, and then once they hit that number, then you guys have to come back. But I guess my point is, I'm asking you, if you guys get out end of May, right? Knock on wood. You're so funny. If you get out at the end of the May and they haven't reached the limit yet, the money that they have. Do you guys come in for a special session to fix it? Or when you get to that number, 1% tax, and there's not enough money, is it rainy day fund? Or do they have to call you back in? Does it stop when we get to 1%?
That's a very good question. I actually want to know the answer to that one.
Let's find out. I'd love that. I got to go to break. I'm a little behind. Appreciate you being here. We'll get more with Senator Julia Coleman right after this.
At LGH Wealth Management, our mission is to create financial empowerment through independent, personalized, and authentic financial planning. That means meeting you where you are and helping you get where you want to go. Whether you're a business owner planning for growth, succession, or a future sale, or a hardworking individual looking to get ahead, reduce stress, and tackle life's financial challenges, we're here to help. From retirement planning and investment management to tax-efficient strategies, estate planning, and risk management, LGH Wealth delivers comprehensive guidance you can trust. Call LGH Wealth Management today at 507-525-7324. That's 507-525-7324. Securities offered through J.W. Cole Financial Incorporated, JWC, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through J.W. Cole Advisors Incorporated, JWCA. Lubeck Geisler Ham Wealth Management Incorporated and JWC JWCA are unaffiliated entities.
amongst friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
And I've got our Senator Julia Coleman on with us today, talking about what's going to go on at the Capitol starting noon today. New session starts. The interesting stories from yesterday, the DFL came out with their 11-point plan to fix ICE here in Minnesota, or how things worked here. I'm like, good for you. I don't know if I could come up with 11 on my own. You want to discuss? Let's do that. That's what we do for a living. The other side of the fence came out with what we'd like to do with fraud. What I find interesting is neither one had, I don't know, 5. The Democrats didn't have 5 on ICE and 5 on fraud, and let's get this done. It was like, this is us and this is you. Is that pretty normal, Senator? Or, I mean, you're going to force, the right's going to force the left to actually have to talk about fraud? It just seems so weird to me that we're complete opposites on what's the thing we got to do today or tomorrow.
Well, trying to control the House is a whole business. But in the Senate, I can tell you Senate Republicans have plans to address things like education fraud, spending, all of that stuff. We do talk about school safety, taxes. So we have a whole list of priorities that aren't just under one umbrella. So, maybe follow what the Senate does.
Well, I'll keep an eye on it. Your thoughts, just because there's so much, we're for 9 months away from all this. The shootings. When we were talking about that, especially shootings at the Catholic school, we were going to talk guns and gun control. When we then had Naked Guy bust into the Senate chamber, and I hope they burned those chairs. Whatever one I would want, if it was mine, I'd want it burnt. I wanted nothing left with it. But the guy broke in with one of these, if you will, a wedge in a back door. We get together and discuss how we're going to fix this issue. What are we going to do? As far as I can tell, they didn't fix the wedge issue at all. Everyone's going to have to go through a metal detector to get in. You're going to put your bags on one of them slider things, and going to look at it. And they don't want bombs. They don't want stuff in there for, protesting. Okay, great. But if you have a concealed carry or you have a carry permit in Minnesota, you get your gun. You get to put it right back in your holster and go. And nothing would stop them from getting rubber door stop. I don't know that we even fixed the problem we had. Do you feel safer going into the Capitol here in the next couple hours? Are you good with what's set up or what they did?
I've always wondered why we haven't had any type of screening here at the Capitol. I'm happy that they're still allowing, lawful permit to carry. I think that's incredibly important, especially for some of our female lobbyists that have to park and walk around here at night. So I'm glad that there's things for that. And, it's just a different era. It's really strange. A lot of us probably updated our wills before session. So there is some a little eeriness, but a little bit of comfort knowing that they did put in a ton of security measures, which is good.
Well, you said a ton. I guess I'm missing something. I guess whatever they're going to be screening for, they'll know you have a gun. Couldn't we have also asked carry people that you have to tell the cops? Here's, I guess, what my problem. You do that at the Capitol, and I'm all for it. I don't have an issue not having guns on the premises, but I don't know what you do with it. You find a gun, you're going to have lockers over here so that I can get it back when I get out, because you have state police and you have, the what do they call them, the sergeant of arms at there to help protect you. They don't have that at the schools. You sit there and say, you don't get your guns here, we're going to check it out. And now what? Bad guys with a gun who don't follow the rules have something you don't. It seems two sides of the coin, you know what I'm saying? And I want you safe. That is not my point. But it just seems strange that we'll give them that because you have state troopers watching you, hopefully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I sincerely hope that with all the talk of security at the Capitol, that there will be talk about security for assets far more precious than us. And that's
I don't compare. Every life is valuable. I would not compare them. You guys are my friends. I got a lot of friends up at the Capitol. I want you guys to have. I'd like you very much to be able to carry and have it with you to protect yourself. But when you disarm the schools and you don't have cops sitting there to help them, then I get really worried. That's me.
I agree with you. On the day of the Annunciation shooting, it was my son's first day of kindergarten.
Wow.
And at a Catholic school. And so at that moment, all I could picture was I wanted my dad, a law enforcement officer. I wanted my dad at his school. That's what I wanted. I wanted a good guy with a gun there. And so I certainly understand. And I've had a lot of parents at private institutions reach out to me kind of with the same sentiment.
Yeah. And there are enough now, I believe, veterans out in the world that have been trained that could use a part-time job, make sure they're there and do that. But I just show my stuff out. I appreciate you. Folks don't know how much it is that you will take the time off on a busy day like today, first day, to be on the program with me. Thank you for being on here, Senator. I really do appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. I look forward to chatting with you in a couple of weeks.
All right, we'll see her. Senator Julia Coleman on the Al Travis Show.